What's going on, guys? JT's the latest Mustang and automotive news. Today we're going to put the X-pipe on my car. I've got a resonator muffler, and then we're going to look at the wheel spacers that I've got. So wheel spacers and then the X-pipe, and we're going to kind of see how it fits on there. So I'm going to go to my dad's house where the X-pipe and the spacers are, and then I'm going to go back over to my mom's house because she's got garage space. My dad's is packed full of stuff. So, and then let's put them on and see what happens. Okay, so normally the boreless Ford Performance Sport Catback comes with an X-pipe. I've removed the X-pipe and used a Borla resonator. Well, the Borla resonator is the most quiet center section that you can put on there. Next up is a Ford Performance resonator, which I ordered. It's on order. I don't have it yet, but what I want to do is go back to the X-pipe, which takes like an hour and a half or longer to pull off the resonator because it gets stuck in there, and we're going to put the X-pipe back on, get a sound check, drive around like that for a few weeks, and then once the resonator comes in, I'll probably be happy because it'll be nice and kind of mild compared to this X-pipe. But the resonator is nice and smooth. You can hear it. It's got a little bit of noise at 2200, just a little bit of a muffler drone, but that's it, literally. It's a really quiet, almost a stock sounding exhaust system with the Ford Performance Sport with the Borla resonator. It's really quiet, almost stock sounding. But let's go over, get the X-pipe, and then let's start working on it and drive all the way back to the other side of town and put it on, and hopefully you guys can get a sound check and see what it sounds like. I'll rev it up so you can hear it. And then the other thing is the wheel spacers on the factory PP Performance Package ride height on 2015 Mustang. We're gonna see if the wheel spacers just look ridiculous or if it's actually a good fit. I did order the Mach 1 Performance Package wheels. I think it's called the High Performance. I don't know what it's called, HP. Anyways, the Mach 1 wheels, 19 by 10.5, 19 by 11. They're supposed to be coming on the way from Levittown Ford. I also ordered that Ford Performance resonator, and the other thing was the GT350 steering wheel, a GT350R shift knob, GT350R steering wheel, and then the Ford track springs. I ordered the track springs. So we'll have the Mach 1 wheels, the track springs, a new steering wheel, a new shifter, and then that resonator, which sounds more aggressive, but not quite as aggressive as a wide open X-pipe. So kind of a sport sound versus a track car. So we'll see. Hopefully it sounds open and throaty versus muffled. This sounds very muffled and just too quiet for me. But I also don't want the wide open X-pipe where if you're running through the gears at wide open throttle, 7,000 RPMs, you know, I don't want to get, I don't want to cause such of a scene. And so anyways, let's go check this stuff out. All right, made it to my dad's. My dad's definitely cooler than me. I know this is what you guys want to see, is this Mustang. It's just got car parts sitting on top of it. Old fastback. It's a 289 auto with no motor. There's a Roadster. There's the coupe. This is the Anglia with the blown Chevy. There's my KTM. So let's go get my X-pipe. And there's more stuff over here. Sunbeam project that's been sitting for 30 years. And I guess that's how my dad feels. Okay, so here's the X-pipe we're gonna put on. Here are some brake pads that I have not installed for the PP. And then these are my wheel spacers. So let's grab the wheel spacers of the X-pipe. Okay, got the X-pipe, there it is. Got the X-pipe, got the spacers. Let's go. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you hear. This is a, let's try to do a first. I'm gonna have to shove it down into first and then shift. And then there's an 18-wheeler, so I gotta slow down. But that's how quiet it is. You hear a lot of engine noise because the exhaust is so quiet. But that's with the Borla resonator. All right, guys, so we're just gonna do the wheel spacers today. I don't think I've got the time to do everything and then put together a video. So what I'm gonna do is just add these, open this wheel spacer box, take a look at them, take a wheel off, see if they'll fit. It's factory ride height, but we're just gonna put them on there anyways and just see how it looks. So here's how it looks factory. You know, there's a pretty good, it needs to be lowered obviously, but there's a lot of room for a wheel, some more offset there. And then let's look up front. There's a lot of room for offset up here. These are pretty far in the fender. So let's just see what we can do and see if we can get this looking a little more aggressive. I think these are the wheel spacers. I'm not even sure. Yeah. So I believe these are the 25 millimeter. It would be good if I had some Loctite, but I've got a torque wrench. So let's get started. And this is the Harbor Freight torque wrench I've got. Pretty standard. I'll put the link in the description for this if you want. We'll see how it works today. And I believe I got these on Amazon too, so I'll put the link in the description for this too if you want to put them on your Mustang. So I've got a socket that looks like it fits the lug nuts on the wheel here. And I've got a tire iron. And what we're gonna do is always, before you take your wheels off, you're gonna break them loose first so that your car's not up in the air and then you have to break the lug nut loose. So just break your lugs loose first. And then after you've done that, then you take the car off the ground, right? So break them loose. I already loosened that one just a second ago. And this is another handy jack that I got on. I believe this was actually Harbor Freight. So you just allow this thing to slide in there, tighten it up, and then turn. And you want to make sure you found the jacking point. And there will be a little indication here. It's between these two notches. You can jack up on this part, but be careful. This part, not this part, not this soft plastic, this hard piece of metal here. And once you've got it lined up, I like to feel my hands get under there and make sure it's actually where you want it. And then as I jack it up, I like to look at it, make sure I'm not messing anything up, right? As you jack up, make sure you're not messing anything up. All right. Watch your fingers. And she's off. So that's where we're going to put the wheel spacer. This is a performance pack car. Here's the wheel spacer. We're just gonna put this dude on. Right, like so. With one hand. Okay, we got the spacer on, and all you do is you just take these nuts were placed on this stud earlier, remember? So I just took those and we're just tightening them all down. Essentially tightening down the adapter to the rotor and the studs, right? That's all we're doing. And then we're going to torque it. If I can find the right size, we're gonna torque it down, okay? So that's next. After you hand tighten all these and get them firmed up. Okay, so the way this torque wrench works, these are foot-pounds, and we're going to go all the way up to 150. So I've got to keep turning this thing, cranking it up. We're getting close now. We're at 150. See, our button is right. There's 150. There we are, 150. So let's tighten them down. I've got a little bit of an extension, and I've got this socket we're going to use. So what happens is 150 foot-pounds is going to turn this, right? So we've got to jam something in there to keep it from turning as we're tightening this up, to keep it from spinning, right? So I found this nice piece of wood that I can shove in here and hold it in this pattern as I push down. So the wood won't damage the threads also on the studs there. So that brake caliper, that little handle that I'm using is not working. I can't get enough leverage on there. So what I'm going to do, this is funny, right? I'm gonna put this on the end of this, put it in the back of my headrest we're gonna put this onto the brake pedal, and I'm gonna cover this with padding so it doesn't mess up my headrest. Onto the brake, wedge it in here, and then we are going to bring the seat forward a bit. Oh, let's try again. Okay, that didn't work. That was a bad idea. All right, this was my solution. We'll see if this works. So as I press down, it's gonna press into the tire. This is 150 foot-pounds. Let's see if I don't bust my knuckles. It's slowly tightening. Very good. Readjust. Woo! Readjust. Okay, guys, I did figure it out. You ready? Oh, good lordy. Well, I'm gonna have to buy someone a new tool. That only worked for so long. Gotta have the right tools for the job, guys. How about this for the dirt bike? Let's put this on the brake caliper and see if it makes it look any better. Before? After. All right, we got the wheel on. We just did some hand tightening. Now we're gonna do some more hand tightening. And then we're gonna set it down and then torque these dudes down. Remember, just always go opposite. Trying to just snug this wheel on there a little bit. Just make sure that you don't have one tightened down all the way and then one off, and then the wheel will be crooked. Does that make sense? All right, guys, so these wheels are not torqued down, but they're bolted in good. So this is the moment we've been waiting for. How's it gonna look once I lower it? Here's the rear, here's the front. Are you ready? Yeah, I mean, that just looks better. Of course, the wheels turned, but let's torque these down and see how they look. I mean, that's how they should look from the factory, in my opinion. Let's go to the other side and see. I can't wait to get these all around. Yeah, looking good. All right, so got the rear off, put the spacer on, tightening the bolts down, and then I've got my tool over there. I'll put the wheel under here, torque it down, and we'll be done with the left side. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. So that was the first one, took a little bit longer. By the time I get to the fourth one, I'll be a pro. So I'm happy with the way it looks so far. So excited to finish it up. By the way, this is the rear tire that I got. They were on sale, and I needed to get some tires for my drive from California, Los Angeles to Nashville, Tennessee. And these are kind of an all-weather Sumitomo HTR all-season PO3. I'm pretty happy with them. It's a 275 40/19, tread wear 540. It's really high, but they actually feel really good because it's a lot of rain here. So far, pretty happy with them. On the rear, guys, you've got the e-brake on and it in gear, so you can get appropriate amounts of torque without it spinning. So it's much easier than the front. And I'm almost done already, and then I will just go to the front and be done. Okay, so the rear, super easy compared to the front. This literally took 5 minutes for this side. So I'm already bolting the wheel back on. It's got the spacer on, and almost done with the left side now. All right, guys, the moment of truth. We're gonna lower it down, see how it looks. Woo, they are a little sticking out there, but I think it's the appropriate amount of gap opposed to the other side. Let's take a look. Needs to settle down a little bit. Let's put a little weight back there. Little poke in the rear, nothing crazy. A little more than, so this side's sitting in compared to the other side, right? Pretty happy with it. All right, and then you just slide this dude on. Simple as that. Take these off and then put them on the old studs, right? That's all we're doing. We're just gonna take this guy off and put it on the factory stud. And then just repeat all the way around until you get them all hand tight. Then we'll tighten them down with the 4-way so that it's snug, and then we'll torque them down. See even how it just sits funny? Like you kind of want it to sit in between. And then so I tighten this one first, then I'm gonna go here. And then I'll go there, and then I'll go there. And then I'll go that one. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. As you see, they're all tightened, and then as you spin, it spins. So we're gonna fix that by doing a wrench trick. This is not perfect, but it works. Oh, yeah. All right, got the front one on. Let's lower her down, see how she looks. Geez, this thing's not easy to slowly lower down once you have one hand on it. Last one, we're done. All right, guys, last wheel, and this was pretty easy once you learn how to do it. It really only takes about take an hour and a half. The longest part is just jacking the car up and torquing these down and figuring out the right tools. And it's a 21 on your factory lug nut, 21 millimeter. I'll put that down in the description too if you need to order a 21 millimeter deep socket. And then I'll put the torque wrench, the jack, and the wheel spacers. And I think it looks great. I think it looks awesome. It's how it should be. This is how the PP wheels are, you know, the factory wheels, PP2 and the Mach 1, they kind of have the same offset. So, all right, last wheel's done. Time to slowly lower it down and then wash her up and see how she looks. So I think it looks much better, filling out the fender wheel gaps. Let's wash it up and get us some better shots. Literally just with these little movements, I can feel a difference in the response. For whatever reason, it feels better. So I would say an increase in steering feel. I can't put my finger on what about it feels better. I mean, it feels like the suspension is just different. It feels like it's flatter. So it did widen the car. It did widen the wheels 25 on each side, so 50 millimeter increased the width of the track. So that would definitely play a role in that steering geometry difference, and you can feel it. It's definitely noticeable. So I would say an improvement. All right, guys, so I didn't get to put the X-Pipe on today, but I got the spacers on, and I think it looks pretty good. It drives good. I can't really tell the difference, maybe just a little bit in the steering feel. It does feel just a little different in the steering feel, but that's really about it. I think those things were only about £1 to £2 each on the spacer, and I believe they're 25 millimeter spacers. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description below. I think it makes the car look great. This is kind of how the PP2s are set up in the Mach 1 with that offset. It could be an inch lower, and it would make the gap look a lot better, but this versus factory, I prefer this look over factory. And like I said, those were only $90 or $100. So if that was helpful, hit a like. If you want to keep updated with the latest Mustang and automotive news, subscribe. And in the next video, I'm going to do the X-Pipe. I'm going to go back to the X-Pipe while I'm waiting on my resonator, my Ford Performance resonator, and the Mach 1 wheels. So Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next video.